So yesterday I've had one of the best, the most productive days that I've had in the entire year of 2026, and I didn't grind harder than usual. I didn't even get more work done. I didn't wake up at like 4 a.m. or do anything crazy like that. I didn't do anything too crazy on paper, but by the end of the day, I felt more alive than I had for the entire year. In these already 3 months have passed, and I figured out exactly why that was, and I just want to record this video to share with you my lesson. So if you want, you can just skip through this entire video and just go to the end and see what was the lesson. But if you're interested, I'm just gonna go over the entire day, what happened, what were the sequence of the events, so you can actually see and understand why I've got this experience of this day and why it was so successful and how you can actually replicate it yourself. So I've got a little journal of how the day actually went. And in the beginning of the day, right, I really wanted to skip the first lesson because I am 17 and go to school. And I just really didn't want to go to the first lesson. But I forced myself to go out. It was a religion class and it was good. It was a good time, learned something. Then I had a free period. I came back home. And then I had a philosophy test coming up. I was pretty nervous because I didn't really know how it would go. I didn't study at all, and I didn't know whether I would be able to cheat throughout that test. And once I got there, I cheated throughout the entire test. No one caught me. It went amazing, and I was super, super content and happy about it. And then I had a double period of Spanish. Most of my friends went home because they had their teachers missing, but me, with another buddy of mine, we just thought it okay. We have a lesson right now, and we were pretty disappointed in that we couldn't just go home. But we went to the Spanish lesson, and to my surprise, we actually watched a movie. We watched The Wolf of Wall Street throughout the first period, and then for the second period, I convinced my teacher to actually let us go outside because the day was absolutely amazing. The sun was shining, and we just all took a copy of a certain text that she printed out for us, and then we just sat on a bench all together, and then we just read out the text. We analyzed it together. I was literally just staring at the sun gazing, like looking directly into the sun, trying to get all the vitamin D in. And then once we ended the reading part, we started talking about where we're gonna go for holidays, and I'm going to the Canary Islands, the Spanish-speaking islands, Spanish-owned islands. And the teacher, she actually lived in the island that I am going to for 5 years. So we actually had a good chat. I had the opportunity to practice my Spanish because we spoke fully Spanish. She gave me some advice. She was pretty happy. I was also happy. I was smiling the entire time because the sun was shining. Then we went to play a little bit with some younger kids, with the volleyball. We kind of kicked it around. We made some, new friends. So I was very excited for it. I was very, very happy already up that point, and up to that point, already only half of the day had passed, and for me, it was already the absolute success. And then the lunch break came. I had the opportunity to just go home because I live very close by, but I didn't really want to leave my friend alone because he doesn't have anywhere else to go to. So I just said, okay, let's go to my home. Um, and once we headed out of school, we just decided, why just not go on the playground and just sit there on the ground and get some sunlight in? So we did just that. Um, I felt absolutely amazing just because of all the sunlight that was coming in. Then what we did was we just went for a walk. Um, we we just started walking up a hill and just enjoyed the sun. Then we thought, why not visit one of our friends who's also at home right now, who didn't have a lesson, so he was staying home. And why wouldn't we just sneak up on him whilst he's gonna be going to his next lesson in school? So we did just exactly that. We hid behind a toilet. We made a fake phone call to him, saying telling him to meet um, my friend at a shop. And then yeah, we basically just had this little spy mission. He kind of, waved to me once the guy passed. We started following him. We started running up on him. He started running away from us. Then he realized we were following him, and yeah, it was just fun being like we were just being like children again. And yeah, I went to back to school. Had 3 more lessons. Nothing really significant happened there, but once I got back home, I ate a little bit, and then I just decided I want to call a friend that I haven't spoken with for a while. And then I just phoned up that friend, very good friend of mine, and we just talked for like an hour. I didn't think the call would go that well. I was really procrastinating. I didn't really want to take that call because I thought, okay, there's better stuff to do. But I was really happy with how that call went. We both talked. We saw we had still some common interests, so it was a good call. And then from after that call, I went into my business call, and already I've received a $200 transfer from one of our clients that we went on a call with, and I was very very happy about that. And then on the call we spent there like an hour and 40 minutes literally just talking to him, um, figuring out what type of a service we're going to be providing him with. And yeah, it was just a pretty chill call. And by the end of the call, basically I just went to watch some basketball, one of my clubs play. And I don't watch basketball often, but it was an important game, so I just decided, let's just watch the game. Watch the game, and by 2 points, my team won. So I was very very happy, super super in a good mood from the entire day. And if you noticed, I didn't say that I scrolled at any part of the day or that I watched YouTube or whatever. No, I literally just had like this perfect day. And then I also recorded 2 YouTube videos for this channel. And this was basically what I did for the entire day. Now, okay, we're going to the conclusion. In terms of the work output, right, for my business, or like, for reading or doing anything else that you would most of the times consider as being productive, I didn't do that much. I wasn't that productive in that sense, okay? But this was the absolute best day that I've had this year. The absolute best. And why was that? Why was I feeling so amazing? Well, first of all, the weather was amazing, right? I just made myself go outside and spend as much time as possible in the sun. That is already a very, very quick thing that you can do. But then also, um, besides of all the environmental factors, that affect your day-to-day life, what I also realized is that we're all of the time living on empty memories. We're just doing the exact same routine every single day, and we're measuring the success of the day by the amount of output that we've had in terms of like productivity for our business or for something else. But that is not a good way to live life. You're just going to have one year where you are not going to be able to recall what you did throughout the entirety of it. You will simply recall that you were working, stuff related to work, but it will feel empty. You will not remember any fun memories, any good experiences. I'm not saying that you should be a degenerate and go partying. That's something that I never do, never did, and never will do. What I'm saying is that you need to have a human connection. It's more than just numbers on a screen, or the amount of books that you read, or the amount of hours that you spend at the gym. No, 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 no. It's about just the human experience. You're here to experience life. Of course, you're here to put yourself in a better position, work on your business, and just get into a better place. But you're also here to enjoy life. So don't forget to do that. You know that's just very very important. That's why I had the absolute most amazing day. And this carries over into the next day, which is today. I've also had a pretty nice day today. I also forced myself to go outside. It was not as good as the previous day, but it is still better than most of my days. That's so important to build this momentum of just getting as much done throughout the day as possible in terms of the variety of experiences that you have. A wide range of different experiences, from going visiting a friend, to then going watching some sort of a, I don't know, football game, then going to work on your business, then going at some sort of a new restaurant to try out some food, and going to a place that you've never been in, then trying to pick up some sort of a new skill that you've never had, then whatever. The the more variety there is in your day, the more new things that you experience, the more you will feel like you're living. When you are young, right? Time passes by slowly, and why is that? It's because every single day you're learning new words, you are trying out new experiences, you're just observing the world and you're learning. But as the time goes on and you get older and older, everything becomes routine. That's why everything seems to go by so fast, because you're not experiencing new things. If you're going to keep doing the exact same routine, the exact same thing every single day, time is going to just fly by you, and you're going to be feeling depressed about it, because you're going to be feeling sad. You're going to be saying, well, why is time passing by so fast? I can't do anything about it. No, you can. Of course you can. So you need to understand that you shouldn't judge the success of your day by how hard you've worked, because yes, of course we want to work hard, we want fast results, we want eventual results, okay? But if we want this to work in the long term and actually just have a good life, we also want to get as much done as possible throughout the day. If you don't want to scroll as much, right, add some other new exciting things that would replace the scrolling part or the procrastinating part of every single day that you experience. That's mainly it. That's mainly the advice from my side. I've had the best day of 2026, undoubtedly. And I didn't say, it wasn't even my birthday, or it wasn't that I've made a lot of money or whatever. No, it's simply me trying out new things and just feeling like a kid again, you know? I literally just felt like a kid again. Yeah, like a young child. So hopefully this inspires you to also bring back some more of that childiness into your day-to-day life, and just spend time outside, make connections with friends, phone a friend of yours that you haven't talked to in a while. Just start living again. Stop working and start living. Okay? Still, you need to, keep going the business, working or whatever it is that you're working on, but that doesn't mean that you stop living and you just become a degenerate who works 24/7. No. You're here to enjoy life. And if you want this to work in the long term, well, wake up and start living. Thank you for watching. God bless you.